The new film, called simply Sold, tells the story of a Nepali teenager who was trafficked to an Indian brothel. According to the charity Childreach, the majority of the trafficked Nepali children are girls aged between 12 and 18, who are primarily sold into the Indian sex industry. In some districts, the rate of trafficking is so high that there are barely any young girls growing up in rural villages. Firoz Patel is the London head of Childreach.
When we started to conduct our research, we'd heard about this one particular region in Nepal where trafficking was on the increase, and this one village where there were no adolescent girls living at all. And, the reasons why there were no girls, we started to talk to families, parents, just to try and understand where their children were. And the common reason that we were hearing was that these families were being approached by what we call in Hindi dalals or pimps or traffickers who were coming to villages and offering, especially poor families, brighter futures for their children. They were offering jobs for their children as domestic workers in India. And parents were believing and being tricked into sending their children overseas. You have a whole village where there are no girls. No teenage girls whatsoever. We were trying to understand what were the root causes behind this. And our research has kind of pointed to one very specific thing. The root cause why people, especially families, poor families, sending their children overseas is poverty. Poverty is the root cause.
It's estimated that 20,000 Nepali girls are sold into sex slavery each year and sent to work in brothels in India. But trafficking is not just confined to Nepal. It's an international problem. In London, it's estimated that you're never more than a few hundred yards away from a trafficked victim. According to the UK Human Trafficking Centre, there were 369 potential victims of slavery between January and August 2013. More than a third of the 369 potential victims were children. Figures from a Freedom of Information request submitted to London's Metropolitan Police Service in April this year revealed that 186 victims had been trafficked into the capital city for sex in 2013. An increase of 39 on the previous year. The majority were found to be working in brothels in Westminster. 114 people were arrested and 201 people were charged. In 2012, a similar number of police operations discovered 147 victims of sex trafficking in London. 70 people were arrested, 35 people were charged. Despite the geographical distance between Nepal and England, a survivor's story is a familiar one. Sold, which showcases in London this week, tells the story of a young girl who was trafficked from Nepal and forced to work in a brothel in Mumbai. Sunita Doniwar, president of anti-trafficking organisation Shakti Sumaha, has a similar story. She agreed to speak with me in London through a translator.
Well, where we were working, there were two Nepalese men who were driving a tractor.
र त्यो ट्र्याक्टर चलाउने क्रममा उनीहरु चाहिँ हामीसँग नजिक हुन खोज्थ्यो.
Those two tractor drivers always wanted to be close with us.
अनि त्यसपछि उनीहरु मसँग एकदम धेरै चाहिँ हुन खोज्थे तर म चाहिँ कहिले पनि उनीहरुसँग नजिक हुन चाहेन.
Especially with me, they always want to be close with me, but I never been with them.
र त्यसपछि चाहिँ हामीले पैसा कमाएपछि अब हामी जाने भनेर मेरो बुवाले चाहिँ ठेकदारसँग हिसाबहरु गर्नुभयो.
Once we had a bit of money, my father decided to do a accounting with the contractor.
अनि त्यो कुरा चाहिँ त्यो दुई जनाले पनि थाहा पायो.
And two driver came to knew that we're taking the money from the contractor and about to leave.
अनि उनीहरुले चाहिँ पछि बुवासँग चाहिँ नजिक भएर हामी पनि यहाँ काम गर्दैन तपाईहरुसँगै जान्छु र तपाईको छोरा खोज्न सहयोग गर्छु भनेर उनीहरुले चाहिँ भन्यो.
The two driver told my dad that they don't want to work here anymore. We'll just come with you and help to find your son.
अनि त्यसपछि बुवाले चाहिँ नाइ भन्न सक्नु भएन.
Daddy couldn't say no.
अनि हुन्छ जाम भनेर अनि हामी चाहिँ त्यो दिन सामान्य होटलमा बास बस्यौं.
Dad says, okay, let's go together, and we left that place and stay in the hotel, the very small hotel.
अनि त्यो होटलमा बसेर हामीले खाना साना खाइसकेपछि त्यो केटाहरुले चाहिँ मिठाई ल्याएर आयो.
Once we were in the hotel, after a dinner, the two tractor driver came back again with sweets.
अनि उनीहरुले पहिलो प्रस्ताव चाहिँ मलाई गर्यो खाऊ भनेर.
They proposed me with the sweet to eat at the beginning.
तर मैले चाहिँ खान मानिन.
I didn't want to take it.
त्यस पछाडि चाहिँ बुवा मम्मीलाई दियो
And they offered to mom and dad.
अनि के अरे मम्मी बुवाले चाहिँ खाउन त खाऊ यो चाहिँ तिम्रो दाइ समान नै हो दाइ बहिनी सम्झेर दिएको छ खाऊ भनेर भन्नुभयो तर पनि मैले खान नमानेपछि बुवा मम्मीले खानुभयो
Mom and dad persuaded me as well, just take the sweets because they're thinking me as their sister. So I didn't take the sweet, but my mom and dad took the sweet.
त्यस पछाडि मैले खाएँ
And once the mom and dad has taken the sweet, I took the sweet as well.
अनि त्यस पछाडि मलाई केही पनि थाहा छैन म चाहिँ जब होस खोल्यो म मुम्बईको ब्रथल पुगिसकेको थिएँ
After that, I've got no consciousness. Only thing is when I become conscious, I found myself in Mumbai.
र त्यति बेला चाहिँ म 14 वर्षको थिएँ
I was only 14 at the time.
अनि त्यस पछाडि त्यहाँ चाहिँ म 1 महिना फाइट गरेँ त्यो घरमा
I fought almost for a month in that place.
अनि उनीहरूले मलाई काट्छु मार्छु तेरो घाँटी छिनाउँछु सम्म भने
They even threatened me to kill me, chop my head off
यदि मैले त्यो काम गरिनँ
if I don't do the work.
तर मैले नमानेपछि 1 महिनापछि उनीहरूले अर्को घरमा बेचे
And I resisted. I didn't do the work, so they sold me to the different house.
अनि त्यस पछाडि त्यहाँ चाहिँ अब उनीहरूले अब मलाई अर्को घरमा बेचिसकेपछि त त्यहाँनिर ग्याङ रेप गराए
And once I've been sold to the different house, I was been gang raped in that house. Before we used to blame ourselves that being trafficked is because of my own fault. But after the counseling and the training, we said, we haven't done any wrong. We're just a victim of somebody's bad deed. Why should we be crying because of somebody did a bad thing on us? So we decided to convert our tears and our blood, everything into a power. And that's how we changed our life. That's how the organization formed called Sakti Samma, which means a power group.
Neerja Naik is an Indian-born British actress who befriends the lead character in the film Sold.
Playing the role, I had to make Anita's life of living in this brothel and servicing men every night, make it feel like it was a routine to be realistic in the character. And I did find sometimes that made me feel a bit numb to sort of like the reality of it all. But I remember there was one moment, many moments on set, but there was one particular moment, the first time that the reality of everything really set in was when Mumtaz, who plays the madam of the brothel, invites myself and another character, Shahana, to put makeup on Lakshmi for the first time. And, you know, she's completely unknowing. She doesn't know what she's got herself in for. And I remember just looking at her and listening to these instructions about makeup that Mumtaz was giving, and the penny just dropped. And literally my heart just sank. I was, very overcome by the reality of that situation. I'm Indian, but I'm from England. And I think it's really important that we shine light on this topic as a whole, because it isn't just an issue in India. It's an issue everywhere in the world. Doing the film has definitely educated me a lot about the issue. And, you know, I, like many people, literally knew nothing about it. And the numbers are just astounding. I mean, you think that slavery doesn't really exist now, but it really does. I mean, you've got 20 million people who live in the world in some form of slavery, and sort of baffles you as to how that can be the case in this day and age.
Childreach Nepal is working with anti-trafficking organisation Shakti Samuha to try and keep young girls at risk of being sold into slavery in school. Its campaign, #Taught Not Trafficked, hopes the UK premiere of Sold will highlight the global problem of slavery and prevent more than 2,000 Nepali girls from ending up in the hands of traffickers and missing out on their education.